Hey guys, this video is just going to be a quick breakdown of what I've been doing with post-processing in UDK. Um, just want to start off by saying this level that I've got here is a level that comes in a package of tutorials by Eat3D. It was the lighting tutorial set they've got. Really great tutorial. Really in depth, done by two guys from the industry, who combined, I think they said they've got about 27 years in the industry, which is really great. Really easy to understand. I think it's about 4 hours long, all the different things, and they go into stuff like lighting, post-processing effects, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and not just how you do it, but the reasons why you do everything and the reason why things happen. Okay, so what I've been working on is starting to understand post-processing in UDK. Basically, what post-processing is, it basically takes your rendered frame, your screen that it would be showing you, and then processes that with other stuff. So, for example, you've got stuff here. This is the World Properties tab, which you can get from going into View, World Properties, and then in the Rendering tab here, you've got Default Post-Processing Settings. And what this does is it runs a post-processing thing over the whole map. So whatever you change in here will be affected to the whole map. So for example, here we've got bloom, and if you keep an eye on this light up here, I'll just turn the bloom on and off for you. You see that? You know, that's a nice effect. Pretty simple stuff, but adds a nice effect. And then we've got depth of field, which is, keep an eye on the sort of background over here. You can get the nice depth of field effect there. And then the last thing, well, last two things we've got a thing called enable scene effect. Basically what this is doing is overlaying a very light blue effect over the scene, just to give it a cool looking I've lost my word, sorry. Gives it a cooler look, which goes quite well with the sort of the cold looking concrete. And lastly, we've got ambient occlusion, which is basically the way ambient occlusion works in UDK. As far as I know, wherever you've got two meshes that meet. So, for example, we'll do this pipe. So, wherever this mesh is close to this mesh, so what it does is it works out that it can do an ambient occlusion around there. So you can see around that pipe, it's going to add shading, which looks quite nice. If you look over the whole scene, I'll just move this out of your way. Look over at the whole scene. We turn ambient occlusion on and off. You know, adds. I don't know. I think it brings the scene together quite well. So that's the basics of the post-processing. That's the world properties. You know, a bit of customizability you can do. You can set the bloom scale, so the blooming from the lights and the specular highlights and stuff. If you keep an eye on this light again, or some of these specular highlights over here, if I crank this right up to about 4, you know, you can really starts to bloom those lights and the speculars. Yeah, I'd like that around 1.5. I think that's nice. And then without any, it's like that. So 1.5. I think it's quite a nice value. You know, so there's a bit of customizability stuff here. Depth of field, you can set how far away from the camera the depth of field starts. So if you wanted, you could have it so it starts about 10 foot in front of you, which would be horrible. Everything would just be blurry. But you know, there's some simple options here that you can customize to get the sort of look you're looking for. So that's the first way I've been looking at. The second way is using something called a post-process chain, and what that does, it's you find them in the content browser under FX hit effects. Search for in the all types. Search for post-processes, and then this one here, post-process console. If we just double-click this, this is a chain sort of instructions of what you want it to post-process. So the scene render target here is the screen you know you're going to be getting, the sort of the video output, ambient occlusion we just spoke about, but here this gives you a lot more settings that you can play with. You can set the color, how you want the occlusion to render, loads of stuff, halo. So there's the ambient occlusion. UDK Post Processing is a sort of bunch of lots of different types of post processor. You got motion blur, bloom, like we spoke about before, depth of field. They're all in this one thing. To add these in, by the way, you just right click and add these in. And this one here, material effect, is quite a snazzy little effect. Basically, what this does is you use an actual material, you know, your standard material in UDK, where you right click, new material, use a standard material, and basically use that material to overlay it on your screen and get different effects. So all the, I don't know, like all the different effects you get in the material panel, all the nodes, so lerps and all, you know, there's countless numbers of nodes countless different effects you can get. You can use all of these and apply it to a post-processing chain, which will then be processed on your screen. So I'll show you what I've done so far. What we've got here is let me just input this. So we've got the material from the content browser, which I've just lost. Got the material here, which is plugged in down here to the material slot. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to apply. If I can find it. Apply the post processing chain I'm using into the world effects and say, just down here, I want to say I would like to use this chain right here, and you can see as I click that, let's clear that again, keep an eye on the background, as I click that in, you see the chain that I've set up start to be used in the scene. So just close this off. You can see the effect here. I'll just close the content browser for now. Close that chain for now. I'll just show you this material editor that I've got. So I'll just maximize this. Basically what I'm doing is I'm using this node here, the scene texture sample, which is taking basically a sample of the screen, and then it's applying stuff to it. So what I've got here is really simple. I'm multiplying a green color with the scene to overlay a green on the scene. So if I unplug this stuff really quick, if I just take this, multiply the green, oh sorry about that, yeah, sorry about that, if I just take that green, so basically what I'm doing now is taking the scene, overlaying the green with the multiply, and then I'm just plugging that straight into the emitter. If I just save that out, what you'll see is it's just multiplied, basically got the screen, I just stuck a green on it, basically. So I do that twice. Let's just unplug that. I do that twice, one with a green here, and one with the red here. And then I desaturate them both a little bit because they're very saturated. You could desaturate it here with the saturation, but I find having these nodes ready in place just gives you more customizable stuff. And then down here I've got a scene depth node, which basically takes the depth of your scene and gives it a value between not 0 and 1, but it makes it white or black, which I'll show you now. But the value that puts out is very high, so you have to use a division node, and just using this value of, I've got 2,500 at the moment, just using this to round that number down to give you some values that are actually you can actually work with. So I'll show you now. So I've got the scene node divided here, and then what I do is I just add a value of 0.2 just to bump up the colours a bit, and I'll show you why in a second. So if I just plug this in and just show you what this does by itself, you can see now this is, so things that are close to me, like this pillar on the right, are darker. Things that are really far away go lighter. So if I move forward, you can start to see things in the background here becoming darker as I move away. They go lighter. Yep. So there's that. So that's what that's doing. And then what I've done is I've taken all these bits and stuck them into a lerp, which is saying take A and B, which are the green and red values, and wherever the black is from this scene depth, so things that are close to us, overlay with green. The things that are further away, which are white, overlay with the red. And then if we stick that in the emissive and just save that out, we should be able to see now, should be able to see things that are close are nice and green, and things that are further away are red. So there's just a quick example of the of how customizable these things are, and that's pretty much what I've been learning today. Yeah, so thanks for watching.